All right, hello everybody. This is Bo Hyndman for Massively.com, and I thought it would be fun to go over a little bit of a few of the basics of the Therian Saga. I'm not absolutely sure how to pronounce it, but Therian Saga. It's a new free-to-play MMO that just came into open beta the other day, I think yesterday, as of 2/20/2014. And I'm absolutely in love with it. I like gameplay like this. Anyway, from if you've ever played InnoGames The West, it's a game that kind of reminds me of that. It's like a fantasy version of that in some ways, and it does a lot more than The West in other ways. So I thought today I would like to go over just some of the basic factors of the game, basic mechanics, and then in later videos or later articles I'll cover more in-depth items as well. But let's start real quick. We'll sign up. Real basic. You just go to the website. Sign up for free, and you're right into the game. It's a browser-based game. The game uses the cash shop uses blue crowns, which are relatively cheap. I believe they are $7 for 100, which will buy you a decent amount. Excuse me, it just all depends. So you can grab some crowns for really cheap. I would definitely recommend doing that. Now, just for the record, I do have some upgrades, like bag upgrades here, multiple character slot upgrades, and some other goodies that were given to me by the developers. But I would still recommend that you put at least a few bucks into the game. But I always recommend that for any game that you're interested in and think you might be playing it for a few hours, because it does come in handy, and also it pays the devs for their hard work. Okay, so first thing I want to go over though is the energy pool, or the energy mechanic. I'm sure a lot of you, and you can see this right up here in the top of my browser window here. I am actually in my browser window. I'm running 3 instances of the same game. You can do that all within the same browser. It's not cheating or anything. It is allowed. You can run as many, I think up to 5. But if you look up here at the top, you're going to see my energy. For example, Leela here, this new character I created, has 90.4 out of 100 energy. Roy, who's named after my dog, has 94.5 out of 100 energy. And my main character, Bo, has 42.8 out of 100. Okay, so what does that energy do? First of all, it's similar to energy mechanics you'll find in other games. Of course, a lot of people, when I say energy mechanic, they freak out and think I'm talking about Farmville or whatever. First of all, just for the record, Farmville's energy mechanic was just fine for the particular game that it was. Farmville was a creative tool, really. It was more than, it wasn't just a game. It wasn't really even a game. It was just a creative tool for people. That's why it was so wildly successful. It's a free-to-play creative tool where people were able to express themselves using basically pixel art in a way. And the energy mechanic is a great way to express, to simply express, or to simply show stamina, what a lot of people refer to as stamina. Of course, if you're a hardcore MMO fan, a hardcore role player, or I'm sorry, a sandbox fan, stamina and limitations on your activity, like energy or stamina, should thrill you. But a lot of people, when they hear energy mechanic or energy pool, they freak out a lot and think that that means I'm talking about you know, Farmville or some social game. And you use energy for different things. For example, if I wanted to fight creatures, or let's travel to this mill here real quick. If I want to travel to this mill, it takes some real time. And once I'm there, let's say I wanted to cut down a pine tree. You can see that it takes some energy there. And so depending on how much I use, it will actually expend that energy. So I can do up to 41.7 out of my 42 energy. So if I hit that, it would take away the rest of my energy. Of course, how do you refill energy? You can rest. You can use a potion. Of course, the potions you can buy in the cash shop, which are right here. Where are they here? Blah, 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 blah. Right here. Tonic Biscuit recovers 50 energy points. Those cost 2 points apiece. Remember that 1 point costs, what, 7 cents? Something like that. So the energy mechanic is nothing really unique or different. It does seem to go pretty far. Now, I haven't played into the higher areas of this game, but from what I understand from seeing other people and talking to some other people who played the game for a while, the energy does not really become much of an issue. You learn how to manage it. And, of course, it's very important that maintaining different characters gives you the ability to do a lot of different activities at one time and to really utilize your energy. The idea behind the game is that it is a pretty casual game, meaning that you can load up queue up some activities, walk away from the game, and come back to find what your activities have resulted in, but there is active combat, which I'll go through here in just a minute. Okay, next up we're going to talk a little bit about movement. Moving across the map. As you saw earlier, I actually moved my character. It's really simple to do. You can click in different areas like this of the map and go that far, travel to, but unfortunately your character has to be skilled in all of these different types of land types in order to do that. So for example, my character is relatively new. If I open him up here, he should be able to, here's the land skills. He's only 3.7 in urban, 7.6 in plains. So that means that he might not be able to, for example, earlier I was trying to get up into these hills with my character and he was not able to do that. In fact, let's see if I can do that now because I've leveled a little bit. But as you can see, all I needed to do was actually click on a location like that. All these locations with question marks are quest givers gave these to me to say, hey, go explore over there, look for something. But let's say if I have like this little number 5 here, that's the possibility of a quest area I need to look in. So as you can see, I've queued up to move over here. I can next click on that and travel to that as well. Hit accept, and it's actually going to queue up. It's going to travel here, and then it's going to travel there. But I can also queue up activities. I can explore here first, and then travel over to here. But that's basically how traveling works. Now, the different options you have in travel are to travel, to explore. Explore meaning basically how it sounds. You're going to explore an area. In fact, let's go here and we'll explore. Click here. I'll just click explore. Oh, and this is a good example. The difficulty for the terrain is 6. It's higher than the skill I have for hills. Let's see if I can explore here. Nope, still too high. So, but typically exploration though is going to that's still too high. It's going to open up. You're going to go to that area and you're going to explore for about 10 minutes, and then you're going to see if you can find anything there. I'll show you on this character here. If I click explore, accept, he's going to travel to that area. It's going to take 20 seconds to get there. I love the little timer design here. And then once he's there, you can see it's going to take 10 minutes for him to explore. Now he might find a hidden cave system or something for a quest or whatever. And as you use exploration, you actually become better at exploration as well. Now I can also click here and tell him to make a camp. Now once he's going to do it, after he's exploring, this is an example of queuing something up. Let me queue it up here actually. Here we go. So now it's queued up. After he's done exploring for 10 minutes, he'll travel to the camp for 19 seconds. The camp, you can sleep at it. You can explore from there. You can do things like hunting. For example, I can hunt hares. So let's click up that. So now I've queued up hunting for a hare. So basically I moved here. I'm exploring that area for 10 minutes. Then I'm going to set up a camp in this area, which takes 20 seconds, and then I'm going to hunt for 2 minutes and 5 seconds. So that's an example of movement across the different areas of the world. Really easy to do, and a good way to not only level your exploration skill, but also to find, from what I understand, quest parts and icons and different things like that. Alright, next I wanted to show you a little bit about combat. Combat is, I don't know if it's equal to kind of half of the content of the game or whatever, but unlike other, hands-off type of gaming, type of games where, for example, I've covered on Massively before, games where you literally had nothing to do. All combat was automated, and I couldn't stand that. This game actually makes combat a pretty interactive experience. I'll show you here in a second. And when I enter the Mushrooms Cave, I actually have a quest to go in here and look for this character. And it's a pretty interesting. They've done combat and exploration within caves and dungeons in a pretty interesting way. Now, just bear in mind that group combat is not allowed by the game. In other words, all these players that are in this different area, I can look through the list here. You can see how many players are hanging out in this area. I can't group with them. I can duel them. I can trade them, stuff like that. But I can go in there if I was to have, for example, on my other 2 characters, I actually have some companions. If I have a combat companion or a combat-based companion, I could actually. They'll actually go into the dungeon with me. But in this particular case, this character is so new, she hasn't received her first companion yet. And as the chat says here, you will actually be able to do PvP in the arena eventually, but I haven't done that yet. So pretty much combat inside this cave is going to be solo, but it'll give you an example of how it works. You travel inside the cave or the dungeon or whatever. Now this is a dungeon interface. First thing I'm going to do is be attacked. See if it's going to let me actually, maybe not. Let's move a little bit. Okay, so how attacking works, and there's generally music and stuff while you're doing this. I just have it turned off. If I have me and my other companions, I'll be able to drag them to whatever creature I want. So I can drag all 3 companions and myself to here. I can drag myself over to here instead. I can fight whatever I want, and you can split up your companions however you decide it. So later, it becomes a lot more, based on strategy as you're choosing which character should attack which monster. But for now, it's just me attacking. Now, these 2 creatures, I can tell you right now, are going to destroy me, so I'll probably have to flee, but I'll give you an idea of how some of the combat works. Each turn is automated. I don't know how much more it becomes, how much more you have to do in combat in later levels. You might have spells to cast, etc., etc. I don't know. But for now, what I understand about combat is it's just automated like this. Now, if you notice up here, my health is changed to injured. When I hover over that, you probably can't see that, but there's a little icon for my body in there. It shows that my head is at healthy 100%. I'm injured on my right arm, or my arms. My leg is harmed, and my torso is down to 69%. So pretty quickly, I'm starting to get hurt pretty quickly because these guys are just too much for me. So I'll attack them one more time. And before I die or anything, I'm going to go ahead and flee. So once I flee, I'm out in there. Now that I'm injured, it says to heal, I can sleep or drink a healing potion. I can sleep in a camp or in an inn located in a town or village. So what I can do is I can simply make a camp if I wanted to. And once I start traveling to it, it's going to give me the option to sleep. Let's sleep for a couple hours here, whatever. So I can go to that camp and sleep. I can go to a town, or I can drink one of these handy newbie potions. When you first play the game, they give you a whole bunch of newbie goodies that will actually help you quite a bit. And that's, if you look here, my sleeping is actually going to take 29 minutes. I can even cancel one of those if I want. So now I'm only going to sleep for 1, which will take about 15 minutes. So there are some options there if you don't want to sleep away all the time. But that's so far how basic combat works. It's a turn-based, pretty simple idea, but it does become more complicated once you add in companions, and later on they will be adding guilds and hopefully group combat as well. Alright, so let's look a little bit at crafting. Crafting is probably the major portion of the game. I'm going to go ahead and cancel her sleep here. Crafting is probably the most important aspect of the game, and as you craft, you're going to be able to... It's a very simple crafting system, but as you craft, you're going to be able to add elements to your items that you're crafting that can... You can, for example, make a gold shield as the classic example that doesn't provide you with much protection, but gives you a lot of prestige, makes you look fantastic. But in order to get to that gold shield, you'd have to add quite a bit to your recipes, and you have to become a better crafter. How you can craft is there's several different ways, but the most common way is you go to a location. For example, here I am in the Guruin's farm. Inside the Guruin's farm are going to be different recipes, characters that have stores that sell different components, soft leather, self-tannin, all these different, and each one of these are recipes that you basically learn. You can also sell certain items at these NPCs. But if you like, you can open up the different crafting UIs here, and you can hopefully drop in the different parts that you need. For example, to tan a hare skin, I actually need to go get a hare and skin it. I don't have that, so let's go over here to, let's see here. I think I can sew a coif. So let's open up. I got some fabric, and then I've got a needle. Now I can sew that up to 5 times. Let's just do 1. And also from the drop down here, you can choose how fantastic this is. For example, rudimentary, rustic, regular, notable, or exceptional. If I go to exceptional, it's at a difficulty of 9. It's out of my skill level, so I won't be able to do that. If I make it at notable, I have a 16.7 chance that I'll actually raise my skill, and it's still within my my level, and it's going to have some mechanical resistance there. But depending on what fabric I choose and what needle I use and the tools I use, it's actually going to have different stats whenever I'm through with it. So crafting, that's the essential basic part of crafting. Of course, there's a lot more to it, and as you can see in my bag here, I have a ton of crafting goods. Now, these crafting items came for free for a newbie. They give you a bunch of coupons that if you go turn them into some certain NPCs, you'll actually get just a ton of goods that you can use in basic crafting. Here I've already crafted some gloves, and you just get better over time. But you do have to probably specialize just a little bit at first, because otherwise you're just going to be all over the place. But you can, in time, learn every single recipe in the game, so that's just up to you. But as I wait here for 5 minutes, 36 seconds for that to be crafted, I can go to another one of my other characters here and have him start to craft there. For example, let's see if there's any crafting on here. Here's not, but if there were, I could actually craft something if I had that skill from there. And then my other character here has arrived at Turnbull Mill, and I can either use it for crafting different things. Let's see, here's wood cutting. So let's see here. Do I have some cedar or fir? So I have some fir logs, an iron blade, and I can actually make some planks if I want. Again, it takes real time. So maintaining multiple characters is really I think probably the key to maintaining a healthy relationship with crafting in this game, because it does take real time. But crafting is probably the most important aspect of the game. It's what I hear people talk mostly about. It supposedly gets just more in depth as you go along, and you can trade with players. You can send stuff to them COD, and of course trade on the market. You do all sorts of fun stuff. So crafting is really where it's at. Alright, so the last part I want to cover is some of the basics of exploration. Exploration is a very key component here to the game, and I'll show you why really quick. If you look on my newbie island, this is the newbie island where this character Bo started out. He unlocked a few of these different locations by exploring, and the newbie island will actually show you where these locations are by taking some different quests. But if you look on my character Roy, he actually has this area here, the small shack, which is kind of a side quest, and he explored and found that small shack and was able to unlock that extra piece of content there. Bo never did on his trip through the newbie island. Either I ignored the quest or I didn't explore or whatever. Now once I'm off the newbie island, I believe I can't make it back to it. At least it's not letting me. But that kind of gives you an idea of some of the value of exploration. For example, if I wanted to explore right around here, I just click on the ground, hit explore, and go from there. Now once it explores for 10 minutes, it will show me if I find anything, what's around there. Sometimes you can find goods for quests. Sometimes you can find, from what I understand, different shortcuts. Maybe a quest will send you to an area and say, go explore this area and tell me what you found. As a matter of fact, I think one of my other characters currently explored something. Where is he at? There. And then actually here she's showing something. So yeah, none of them are exploring right now, but so exploration is a really important part of the game, and it helps you not only open the map, but become more skilled at exploration, which eventually, from what I understand, will help you find more things when you explore. Okay, so let's say you're playing the game and you want to go ahead and jump in. You're not really sure. I would check out the guide, the game guide on the Therian Saga website. I like to zoom in here a little bit. You can click on the how to play stuff. It'll give you some basic ideas. You can take up a residence, meaning you can have a house, an actual house in game, where you're going to be able to rest and store your companions. And then it's going to tell you about skills, companions, equipment. So I would definitely recommend going over to the game guide if you get stuck. There are a few YouTube videos, but not very many right now. This is probably one of the first. And I completely encourage you to check the game out. As you can see, it's a very casual game. I think that what people have to understand is that it's not supposed to be a game where you're non-stop playing. While opening up different character slots, which do cost you money, by the way, does increase the availability of things to do, because you're able to just kind of queue up things and time everything properly. You're still going to be having a lot of moments where you're just waiting around, waiting for something to be completed. In that case, take a break, walk around, play another game, and come back to it. Or you can plan out reserving a lot of your longer tasks for when you go to sleep or go to work or whatever. And it's really supposed to be, from what I can tell, it's really supposed to be that kind of a game, to where you queue up several things and you go from there, and you just grow slowly over time. I'm absolutely thrilled by it. I absolutely love the art. I really enjoy the casual pace of it, as well as the fact that you can grow a character over a long time. It's just now an open beta, so I would definitely get in early if you can now, because you won't regret it later. You'll be able to have characters that you can say, I was there for beta. And I would definitely throw a few bucks into the cash shop if you want. It does get you some pretty useful things. There's different packages that you can buy that really help you out a lot, with your inventory space and all that. But other than that, I would check it out at theriansaga.com, or theriansaga.com, I should say. Leave me any comments or suggestions. You can see there I have my email and my Twitter, so feel free to contact me either way. And you can also add me in game. My characters' names are Bo, Roy, and Leela, L-E-A-L-A. So feel free to do that. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.